You may have come across this story in the newspaper. Bad foreigners in Vietnam and why I spoke out. Over the past few weeks, something has been bothering me deeply. Enough that I decided to write an opinion piece in Toi Chair, the newspaper I've been writing for many years. And today I want to speak directly about it. I've lived in Vietnam for over 13 years. I love this country. I love its people. I love its culture. I love its energy. And I love its kindness. But recently I watched a growing problem unfold. A problem caused by a small but loud group of foreigners who come here and behave as if Vietnam is a lawless playground for their entertainment. And honestly, Vietnam's patience is running out. I wrote my article because I've seen too many examples of foreigners acting in ways that embarrass the entire expat community. We're talking about drunken fights, vandalism, riding motorbikes without a helmet, disrespecting local communities, ignoring laws that every Vietnamese citizen must follow. These aren't harmless mistakes. Some of these actions have caused injuries, destructions, and even death in the case of the man in Nha Trang. And the truth is simple. Vietnam is no longer tolerating this behaviour, nor should it. But how do we get here? When I look at this issue, I'm not disgusted. I'm intrigued. How did we get here? Vietnam opened its doors after decades of war back in the late 1980s. Tourism brought money, jobs and opportunities to mainly to the local people. For years, the country has welcomed everyone, including the lower end of the tourism market, the misfits, the drunks, the people who believe that because they are foreigners, the rules don't apply to them. But that era is ending. Vietnam is rising. Vietnam is developing. Vietnam is becoming a regional powerhouse. And with that comes a new expectation and a new level of respect in this country. Let me tell you something personal. One of my favourite moments in Vietnam is sitting beside the canal in Hoi An with a glass of red wine, watching the sunset. The peace, the respect people show for the space around them, that is the Vietnam that I love. But that peace is threatened when a handful of foreigners treat the country like a dumping ground for their worst behaviour. And I am done staying silent about it. Vietnam is experiencing 25 million visitors this year, the highest in its history. With Long Tam International Airport opening soon, even more people will visit. So here's the message. If you come to Vietnam, enjoy its beauty, its hospitality, welcome. If you come here and break the laws, disrespect communities, and act like a thug, you should be jailed, fined, and deported. Vietnam deserves high-quality visitors. Vietnam deserves respect. And Vietnam deserves better than what we've seen from some foreigners recently. And I fully support the government's crackdown on this behaviour. The fact that a beer is cheap and you can drink as much as you damn well like is not a ticket to act out as you wish. The whole tide is turning on the world's order. When we talk like in a bigger situation, and with that, countries that were once seen as either underdeveloped or poor are now coming to the fore as powerhouses of the future. Vietnam's one of those. And with that, you've got to show some respect on the way through. I do, and so should all the other foreigners that visit Vietnam. Now, I want to hear from you. This is very much about you sharing your experience with me as much as my experience with you. Have you personally witnessed bad behavior from foreigners in Vietnam? Share your story. Comments below. Share your story. Everyone needs to hear what idiots in this country are doing. I want to understand the widespread problem that there is in Vietnam, not just in Nha Trang or Da Nang, as we've seen recently, but right across the country. Is it happening in the smaller areas like Phu Quoc and places like that? You know, is there a foreigner in a local community that is just an absolute goose and creating havoc everywhere? I have seen it. You know, one person gets themselves into a place like Tay Ninh. He's almost the only foreigner there and just carries on like a goose because he's a goose, you know. Tell me your story. Do you think Vietnam should tighten its visa rules and increase penalties for foreign offenders? Two questions there. You know, should we have a tighter visa? Will that change anything? In my opinion, I don't think a tighter visa will change anything because a lot of these people that are creating shit are coming from Russia. The relationship between Vietnam and Russia is such that Russians have always come here for their holiday. In fact, you know, one could suggest that places like Nha Trang is Russia's equivalent to Bali, as in Australia. It's the cheap place to go and get some sun when it's cold. And so, yeah, I think it's a big problem. What responsibilities do expats like me have in shaping the reputation of foreigners here? Now, I've lived here for a long time. You may have lived here for a long time. What do we need to do as foreigners to shape the future? And finally, what does respect mean to you in the context of living and traveling in Vietnam? What do we need to do to show respect? You know, for some people, it is just not cause trouble. For other people, it's a little bit more than that. Certainly for me, my version of respect is to speak the language. You know, I speak basic Vietnamese, and I think that when I'm traveling throughout the country, and I'm not incapacitated like I am now, speaking Vietnamese to local communities gives them a lot of warmth, and it also allows me to show respect that I value the connection with the Vietnamese community. You know what? Vietnam is a country I deeply care about. It has given me a home, a community, and a life I'm grateful for every day. And because of that, I won't stay silent when I see people abusing its kindness. If you agree with this message, hit like, subscribe, and share this video so other people will make a comment. Because as someone who loves Vietnam, I want this place to grow with the support of us expats, us foreigners, us people who make the country just a little bit better. That was the reason I came to Vietnam in the first place, because I had a desire to make the country just that little bit better by me being part of it. And that's what every expat should aspire to when they come to Vietnam. We're all part of this and we all play a part. Coming here, sitting in the corner of a bar and drinking yourself stupid is not making the country a better place, and certainly nor is getting drunk and driving in the street and killing an old woman crossing the road. So what can you do to make the country better? That's what I want to know. Read the story, it's up there, and please give me your comments. I'm Ray, an Aussie in Vietnam, and see you soon. Bye-bye.